of 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. What did y'all think? Did y'all like it? To me, it wasn't nothing interesting that took place. They were just prepping for the concert. Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a quick summary. Like I said, nothing really happened. This episode was just everybody prepping for the Articulates concert. I seen somebody said they do not like that name. Somebody said they can't stand that name. They said, how did you come up with that? But yeah, they were just prepping for the concert. They showed Sharon and Tracy practicing. Chelsea ended up coming in to help with their outfits and interviewing them. And she was asking about how they kept the sisterhood with Anita or whatever. And I was wondering what they was gonna say because they lost touch, didn't they? They lost touch and she didn't know. But yeah, what else? The gym dude ends up asking Anita to perform a solo at the concert. I said, nah, is he gonna be another Dante Green? I said, this is why they keep arguing in the first place. It's like stuff keep popping up to make these folks argue. And they said a spoiler's supposed to say, or a spoiler did say that they supposed to get into it again. But if you seen Friday's episode or the end of Friday's episode, y'all know that they showed them on stage. So I'm assuming that it's actually gonna take place. But yeah, he want her to do a solo concert, and I said that's what got them arguing in the first place. Naomi ends up, she was worried that keeping this secret and stuff is going to affect her marriage. Danny was telling her how they the last couple standing aside from Vernon and them. And I was like, yeah. I said, I could see them. I could see him being upset or whatever. Martin ends up starting therapy with Nicole. Samantha ends up telling Kat that her dad's broke up, but I don't think she actually told everything else that happened. Well, technically, she don't know everything that happened because they lied. Terrell was trying to convince me to go to the concert, but that was just a quick summary, y'all. But yeah, on today's episode, it started out showing Anita. She looked like she was nervous. She doesn't want to embarrass anybody when she gets on stage. They show Sharon and Tracy practicing their dance moves. Chelsea ends up coming in and says she wants to record them. She ends up conducting an interview. Naomi ends up confiding in Danny. She says she understands why they decided to cover up everything and keep the secret. But she don't like that Bill had a man murdered. She don't like that Bill had a man murdered. It was something else. What else? Oh, I know she said she didn't like keeping it from Jacob, too. But yeah, she ends up mentioning how she don't like that her dad had a man murdered. And then it was like, excuse me or whatever. I said, they don't know how to hold water. I said, they don't know how to hold water. They always snitching. They always telling something. Danny reveals once again that she didn't know. Nicole ends up starting her session, or Martin ends up starting his session with Nicole. Samantha and Kat talk about the purse line until Kat sees that Samantha is distracted. Chelsea ends up helping Sharon and Tracy with their outfit. Terrell ends up telling Smitty it was just one fight or whatever, trying to convince him to go to the concert because he was saying how he's not going to go, how they don't like him right now and stuff like that because of everything that's going on with Martin. What else? Martin his main focus was that he wants to save his marriage. He wants to save his marriage. But I think he going about this therapy session all wrong. It ain't even officially started, but he going about it all wrong. His focus is on doing this so that he can save his marriage. But he should be doing this so he could no longer, have nightmares and he could fix himself or whatever and everything that happened and actually process what happened. Because I don't think people really take the time to process stuff that don't happen. They just move on to the next thing like it's nothing. But yeah, his whole conversation with Nicole, he's talking about saving his marriage. He want Nicole to help fix it or whatever. What else? Let's see where I stop it. Nicole ends up saying how she doesn't think that Vernon and them handle things well. She's still upset with them, y'all. Danny's upset they didn't tell her what was going on. Naomi says she don't like keeping things from Jacob. Samantha wants to help get her parents back together. Chelsea ends up interviewing Tracy and Sharon. She asks about their sisterhood, how they remain close, and then she asked about her grandmama. I guess she didn't know. But they smoothed it over real well. Hold on. They definitely smoothed it over real well. They ain't try to, throw her under the bus or anything like that. The gym dude that started this whole concert idea, he wants Anita to do a solo concert. And I was like, this the thing they keep going back and forth about her being in control. It's all about her. That's why they broke up in the first place and stuff like that. And he wants her to do a solo, but she immediately told him no. She told him no, but Vernon ends up convincing her to talk to the ladies about it or whatever. Like I said, Anita ends up declining, says the spotlight belongs to all of them. At first, I thought he was going to say do a solo, once all of this is over. No, he want her to do a solo now. Anita ends up stopping by the house. She came home. She came home or whatever. And she ends up looking at the outfit. She says she likes the outfit or whatever. Nicole ends up saying that she forgot about the concert because Danny stopped by to get her and Martin to go. She brought some outfits by. Terrell was trying to convince Smitty to go to the concert, but he was saying, they're going to be mad at him. He doesn't want to attend. Danny manages to convince Nicole to go. Then she started trying to convince Martin to go as well. The Articulates talk about Barbara and how she started the group and everything, and they agreed that they need to all talk about her during the interview and not forget her. What else? Let me see. Vernon ends up showing up to Smitty's house, and he was like, he want him to show up. He know that he's upset and he has a lot of questions and stuff like that. But they'll talk about that later. But right now, it's the concert, and Anita would love for him to be there. Well, I think the last thing I already said, Danny was trying to convince Martin to go to the concert. I think the last thing was Anita. She was saying, they had to talk about something. Jim ended up came to her. Jim ended up coming to her. Whatever. Hold on. Jim ended up coming to her to say that he wants her to do a solo during the concert or whatever, and they was looking at each other. I said, I can't tell if they're gonna be upset or not, y'all. I know the spoiler said something about they supposed to get into it, but we already seen them on Friday at the end of Friday's episode on stage together, so the concert definitely gonna happen. But yeah, she tells that Jim wants her to do a solo, so if they vote and they said no, then it's no or whatever. She declined the offer, but Vernon said that she should talk to the ladies or whatever. But yeah, again, I said this is why they was arguing in the first place. This is why they broke up. Why would you go do the same doggone thing again? But I don't know. Maybe they're gonna actually say it's okay or whatever. I feel like Sharon, ain't that the one that's always talking? I think Sharon, that's her name, right? The other one, Tracy. Do y'all think she want the spotlight? I don't know. I feel like she wanted the spotlight. That's what it's really about. But I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's all that happened. Told y'all. Didn't nothing really happen. Everybody was just prepping for the concert. Nothing interesting happened. Aside from, Danny and them finding out what Bill did. I don't think Kat knows anything yet. Matter of fact, I don't think Chelsea know anything yet either, do she? They in the dark, I think. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think that's everything, y'all. Let me change. Excuse me. Let me scan these notes and see. But I think that's everything. Yeah, that's it. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Oh, and also, y'all, because I forgot. Sisters come on tonight. Sisters come on tonight, y'all. I sure forgot. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, this is Harry. Rest of the night and be safe.